Welcome back, Weather Kingdom. In this update, we are doing a very late update, but this is actually going to be on the evolving nor'easter that's going to be bringing major impacts into the northeast and east coast. I'm actually going to be having my own map, my own impacts. I'm going to be giving you guys my own information on this, on what's going to happen, and my own thoughts. We are going to be just chilling out tonight for like an hour or so and just talking about this nor'easter and the tropics. And surprisingly, the October already, we are way ahead for October terms. We are on October 10th, and we now had two tropical systems. One was subtropical storm Karen that is now has dissipated. I didn't have time to make a video. It formed in actually the furthest north tropical system ever. So that was a very great history thing. We now had our first subtropical system. We had, as you guys know, Tropical Storm Jerry. And it looks like we could actually spin out another two main development region storms. Also a Caribbean storm. Could we actually see a pretty active October where it surprised us all? And I do think we are in for a very active October generally, especially towards the middle way of the year. But our big focus right now on is this monster nor'easter that is in the developing stages. That's going to be bringing some major impacts and already starting to bring major impacts. So stay tuned to Weather Kingdom. We are just sorry about that. I'm getting my chat board up and everything. We actually see a pretty active October. All right. It surprised us all, and I do think we are in for a very active. All right, let's do that. All colors. Hey, Semyar, what is up? What is up? We're getting everything ready. Just give it a second. We are live here. We are watching the developing. Look at this, you guys. I don't know if you guys noticed, but look at that. That is not good right there. Look at these clouds right here on satellite. I just want you guys to take a quick look at this. This is why this nor'easter is going to be very, very bad. It is pushing right now a lot of water into the east coast here already. We are already seeing major, probably flooding and waves going on into these areas here. We're talking about a lot of wind-driven rain right here. Look at that. I know they're very bad arrows and stuff, and I'm sorry about that. I did not mean to make them this bad. Like, holy wow, I am this bad. Sorry. But look at that. Let me fix some of these arrows. Sorry about that. This is that push. This is what's going to be so significant about this is storm surge and monster waves across the East Coast, especially in Delaware, New Jersey, and more for the mid-Atlantic, just south of New York City. I mean, major, major, major issues about that. So just give me 1 second. Let me just share some of this and get some things ready. Discord clip. I'm fixing some things here. If you guys are new to the channel, please like and subscribe. We are trying to get up to 900 subs before the end of hurricane season. I will be very thankful and very greatly appreciated. But we have a lot to take a place here. So just bear with me. Let me just get everything ready. And rocking and rolling. I'm just getting everything set up here. Just give me a second. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Alright. Welcome back, Weather Kingdom. Just give me 1 second. We are getting things changed up here. We are working on some new things here. This is a late live stream. I know we're not going to have as many people as I really want. Hey, Weather Kingdom, New York is under a state of emergency. Really? I did not know that. I'm actually going to have to search into that. I'll search into that. I did not know. Let's just quickly do that here. New York. Really? New York. Alright, I don't need sports. You sure? I don't think so. Okay. So, actually, this is great information. Thank you. We're actually going to talk about this just quickly. This is actually including of that major nor'easter once again. So, just give me 1 second. We got 17 people here watching. Welcome back, everybody. We are talking about this monster nor'easter. I did just get a notify that one of my chats. Let me just. Alright, let me go back to the chats. I did not know that. I live in Charleston. Nice. I will be talking about Charleston. Hey, Weather Kingdom, New York is under a state of emergency. Yeah, they announced it tonight for Sunday and to Monday. So, yes, we're actually going to talk a little bit about that, actually, because this is pretty major stuff here. So, details of the state of emergency. This is not for the entire state. This is actually for the Bronx, Delaware, Dutchess, the Kings, the Nassau, New York, Orange, Puntman, the Queens, Richmond, Rockland, Suffolk, Sullivan, Ulster, Westchester, and the counties around there. It's because of this nor'easter. They're actually expecting total rainfall up to 5 inches with 2 inches per hour in some areas, leading to significant flooding risk. This is also with that waves and stuff. We're going to have a lot of waves impacts and a lot of that. So South Charleston beats that word. Not as much as North Carolina, honestly. You guys are going to get some impacts if you guys are along the coast. Some tidal wave, not tidal waves, but big time waves. I am doing all right. What about you? How are you doing? I did not know that. So if you guys are in New York in any of these areas, please take this as a major thing to watch. Not good. I did not actually know that. It's pretty intense. Huh. This is the Wow. National. Wait, I want to just quickly look at this. National. I did not look at some of this stuff here. Weather Service. National Weather Service. I live in Kings County. That's Brooklyn. Yeah, you're under. Okay, yeah, you're under that. A state of an emergency. That sucks. I don't know where I could find it. So, yeah, they do have this. This was about 8 hours ago. This was actually the rainfall total. They generally had this was a 6 a.m. This could be a little bit less, but they did actually have 3 to 4 inches along the extremely coast, and then 2 to 3 inches up to about Philly, and then Allentown 1.5 to 2 inches. That's actually not a bad forecast. Maybe a little bit on the higher end in my opinion, but we'll have to continue to watch that. Yeah, look at this nor'easter really developing. You can see there a lot of driven in winds crashing in. What this is doing is pushing all that water against the coastal areas. And we seem like that low is developing somewhere like here. As you can see the mid-level like this. And I can see the actually low level. Looks like actually the low level might be further south. Huh. I don't know. Look at that. Yeah, looks like maybe we have a low level developing. More like down here, actually. Because I don't, yeah. That's kind of the sheer being like that. Because then you can kind of see that, yeah, that moisture going back in there. So we are getting our coastal low actually to develop. Looks like it's down in here. This is that low level circulation. So we are getting some type of low now beginning to develop off the Florida's coast. This is pretty interesting. This is actually pretty far south. This is actually going to help to deepen those thunderstorms and everything. So it's going to be very interesting. By the water, so I'm in zone 1. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you guys can tell. Look at that. And look at that. We are getting already bands of rain driving its parts here. Look at that. Boom. A lot of outflow. We're actually starting to see that. This is a tight pressure gradient because we got a high to the north. What is that? It's not going to be tropical. We already know that. Oh, let me look. I had a brain of thought. So if a low is developing, okay, so this system will have, if you believe it or not, why, in my opinion, I'm going to explain it here by the water. If you go to weather.go, weather.go. Let me look at that quickly. Weather.go. Oh. No, they don't have the pictures. I was just trying to look at that. And what I do? Blah, 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 blah. Alright. It's not going to show. But we're actually going to look at the WPC flooding risk. Because I think that's going to be very important. So this is actually what due to the day tomorrow. Look at that. So this is tomorrow through Saturday. This is actually part of that. Hey, what's up, Joseph? What's up? Click like on a county. I did. I could try it again. Yeah, see, I tried. Usually it'll show up here. Let me try a different one. Yeah, chance. No. It's not this. Wait. precip probabilities. They don't have, wave heights. Oh, we're definitely going to be using this. Look at the, alright, we got the light for briefing. Let's go, boys. Alright, that's interesting. We're going to actually have to go back to that. So, I just want to quickly go back to here, the WPC flooding outlook. So, this is throughout tomorrow. If you guys are in Virginia Beach, the Carolinas, North Carolina's actually coast. If you are in Charleston, I know we had a fan here from Charleston about to get some stormy weather, California on Monday and Tuesday. Nice. I know someone said about Charleston. This is for tomorrow, actually. Today, you're under that first risk, at least a 5. Tomorrow, you are under that. Day 3, no. So, you guys are not in the worst impacts. It's more for Wilmington, New Bern, the Outer Banks, Jacksonville, Virginia Beach, Elizabeth City, and even parts of Newport News, just north of Virginia Beach. You guys are under that slight risk of flooding, that flash flooding, so we're going to have to really watch that out. Going to tomorrow on Sunday, things have changed quite a bit on the National Weather Service. Honestly, if you guys are all against the coastal areas, like in New York City, Long Island, Rhode Island, parts of even Massachusetts, all along the Jersey's coast, Ocean City, Wildwood, Atlantic City, Toms River, Sandy Hook. You guys are under that slight, and then if you guys are in Philadelphia, just south of Allentown, southwest of Reading, and like a nor'easter fashion, you guys are under that marginal. I think that actually could be a little bit more pushed. I think they went a little too far, but it's alright. And then day 4, this is for that Tuesday, actually. If you guys are in New York, New Jersey, Long Island, and the same spots again where that slight risk was, you guys are in that. You guys are in that marginal risk. So that's very interesting. That's very interesting right there. GFS is coming out. This is about to be interesting. Yeah, look at that. That's one thing we notice is I think the 0Z models are starting to pick it up a little bit better on this potential coastal low. It looks like the models are starting to strengthen the low a little bit faster again. I am actually expecting that, in my opinion. I do believe it will. When we take I want to look at something here is the COD. I haven't used this website in a while. I don't even think it's going to. Yeah, COD weather models. We got some of the mesoscale out models. The city going to flood with this storm. This hurricane season's actually not closed. Let's go into the NAM. The NAM model, when we take a look at NAM model, let's change it up. So this is actually that coastal low. Look at that. This is that coastal low that's expected to develop. Look at that. Let's go into winter precip. There it is. It's expected near the Florida's coast, like the satellite says, and then actually kind of teleports into that more northern piece. And look at that quickly. I think this is going to be more consolidated, in my opinion, here. This is the NAM model. Have kind of a backup low here and a more stronger low here. I think one of them will be more dominant than the other. I don't think we're going to see all these little lows, because then we have a weird upper level low that develops back in here. And right here we got 3 lows. We got a strong pressure gradient, believe it or not, actually, right in here, because we got a high pressure to the north. So I want to explain this just a bit more. Let me just quickly let this go through. So basically this is what happens on the NAM model. I believe New York City could get near like 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts. I do believe that very well. I think that's a very big possibility. Also, this is the model, and I think this is going to be a very big thing too. The winds are going to be much more affected on this go around, because we got this low that consolidates off the Carolinas coast. This is actually a pretty strong low in the 990s. Okay, we got a strong pressure gradient. We actually have another weird low right here, but we got a high pressure. Okay, let me quickly go back here. We're going to draw this out a little bit. We got a high pressure, a very strong, let's say 1,033. So we got a very strong pressure gradient that is sending winds, that east winds like this. All right, we got that wind just driving in with that high pressure. But now, you're not just getting that, you're getting a low like this. So now you got winds going like, wait, let me do this right. No, I mean wrong. Actually, the high pressure is bringing cold air. My bad. So we got a strong, my bad. I just screwed up there. So basically, there's got over weather came in, let's say 65. This is actually the high pressure here. This is actually bringing in colder air. But now look, we got a strong high with a pressure gradient of 1,033. But then you got a strong low that is forcing winds into the east coast like this. And you got a very strong wind. And then you got this low helping it. So now, let me just go back a little bit. Let me go back to black here. Now you got a driving wind out of these two lows that is driving right into the mid-Atlantic coast. Okay? And you got very strong pressure gradient. So that's going to actually help to strengthen and give those winds even stronger of a push. Because now you got a gradient. If that high pressure wasn't there, it would have been as bad as the wind that was when we were talking about. But now with the pressure gradient, this is just driving all that water right into there. And we already seen that on satellite. Okay? So a very strong pressure gradient. And the model's been in a little bit of inconsistent. 12Zs and 6Zs today had it much weaker. It seems like the 0Zs and the 18Zs are now coming back to the bigger and stronger solution that I do expect. And basically this just drives right into the Carolinas. Rain shield already all the way up to Philadelphia here. I mean, you got very heavy rain bands just crashing into the Jersey shoreline, Delaware, Washington, D.C., and all that. You got a very strong low just crashing into North Carolina. A lot of water being pushed at the same time. You got probably 30, 40 mile an hour winds along the coast, up to 50 mile an hour winds. We'll be talking about that in just a minute. It is possible, actually, a little bit. I actually want to look at that in a little bit. I don't think this is Jerry. I think Jerry actually gets slingshotted over there. So I don't think so. It might give its piece a little bit, but not really. And then basically this is what happens. The nor'easter crashes into land. I think this could be actually more like over here. And this will bring even more impacts. But basically what happens here, we got a wind-driven east wind here just driving into the coastal areas and causing a lot of mayhem at this point. And then we got it just crashing rain bands, winds, 30 to about 30 mile an hour wind gusts inland, 40 to 50 along the coastal. And look at that, the NAM just crushes it into all day Monday until this finally starts to give out just a bit here. But this is a very bad solution. Days of very, very heavy potential rain bands and some pretty strong winds. So total accumulations of precip here. This is your result here. And this is why I'm not rolling this out. If the NAM is right, I mean, you could talk about the Outer Banks and some of these areas in North Carolina getting 6 to 8 inches of rainfall. This is the NAM model, but look at that. A widespread 1 to 2 inches. Some spots even 2.5, 3 inches of rain out of this nor'easter set and done if the NAM is right. So this is going to be a very wet, windy, wind-driven rain event if this does happen. And even along the coast a little bit up to 4 inches. So this is really, really bad but beneficial rain. Also, you're going to be able to tell this is going to be a breezy storm. It's going to be in the 50s. It's going to struggle in spots to get out of the 50s. So it's going to be a wind-driven, easterly winds off the shoreline. And that is never a good thing there. And then the dew points, there it is. Some of that humidity really tries to get in there, especially along the coastal areas. Let's go into... So that's actually the NAM model. The NAM NIST is a little bit crashing into the North Carolina, bringing actually pretty heavy rain, strong winds, and all that. Just kind of struggles and stays down there. I don't think it's going to stay down there. But once again, it does bring potentially very heavy rainfall here on the NAM. Definitely a lot more south. But look at that. Some of these areas, widespread 2 to 3 inches of rain, most likely. And then if the NAM is right, I mean, still, you're still talking about very strong wind gusts. I mean, this is the NAM model. It crashes you guys with 40 knots of wind. That's 50 miles an hour. Even up here where the low is not even, you're still talking about very, very strong winds. That wind-driven rain. I think it's going to be more north. I think it's going to be more aggressive with the wind gusts. But that's my opinion. The HERP is a bit different here. This is a very bad case scenario. This low kind of crashes into the Carolinas and keeps going north. This is a long duration event across the East Coast here. Very heavy rainfall, strong winds. I like to see this in the morning time tomorrow. Our sewer system is a mess up there. Cleaning them today. We'll see. But I just moved inland in case. So, if you guys look at the wind gusts, this is actually the NAM, the HER model. A bit more aggressive, really on the Outer Banks. Showing that more aggressive 60 miles an hour, even closer to 70 in spots. In those darker, but look at that, off the shoreline. I mean, this is pretty strong winds along the shoreline. You're talking about 50 miles an hour, even some 60 mile an hour wind gusts just off the coast. Even near 60 to 70 on the HER, and then widespread like this. You got 20 to 30 miles an hour with gusts up to 35 on the HER. So that's a very bad run here, but very possible, okay? Keeps it all one system. I'm actually believing in the HER right now. A bit right now. Quite a bit here on this solution. This is the RAP model. This is another model. I don't know about it. I'm not a big fan of it. This depends on its days and stuff. But kind of shows this low. And yeah, kind of crashing the Carolinas. Then you got a second one. Weirdly, oddly set up. Because, look, it's trending back to what it was. Because this was 18Z. It had this kind of case scenario. 0Z, a little bit more stronger and further north. So that's helping our system there. So that is very interesting, according to the models. Alright. Oh, GFS is out. Yeah, look at that. Much, I don't know. Whoa. That's interesting. See, this is where I'm a little bit confused. I don't think I'm really going to use these global models because it does show that. But look, you get a 996 off the Carolinas coast, right? Looks like it's going to drive up, but then it gets stalled, and then you get another piece of convection and energy here. That kind of keeps the winds not really that bad. This is an interesting... GFS says, yeah, and then it gets stronger there. I don't know about that. Because you're telling me you get one low right here and then another one here. I don't believe that, in my opinion. I mean, I just don't believe it. That's where I'm just not making the sense. Because look at the icon now. I mean, the icon has that low being stronger and then crashes into the But if you take a look at the mesoscale models that are actually better with these systems, keeps it one system. That's what I'm thinking. I don't think we're gonna. I think the global models are kind of wrong on this, because when you take a look at your mesoscales, they all show the same thing. There's a massive disagreement with your global right now in mesoscale. All mesoscales show one dominant low. Instead of having one low sticking down here and then one forming up here, I don't see that. I've seen these case scenarios. I don't see that. I think the global models are wrong. I can actually see something like this. The FE3 and the HERB shows one dominant system and pretty much causing a lot of mayhem. A lot of rain. Look at that. This is by Tuesday in the morning. And you're still crushing it here. Not just that model. The WRFs too. Crashes into like one nor'easter. Some of these are getting into pretty strong lows, not gonna lie. Like the RGEM, it's weird. I don't think the precip's gonna shoot that far. Then you get that second, like, I don't know about that. I don't think it's gonna be like that. I don't think your vorticity is gonna stretch out like that. I think this is going to be a little bit more consolidated than the global models are showing. You got some showers and thunderstorms developing pretty well into this low now. I'll like to see how this shows tomorrow, in my opinion. Because now look at that. The GFS then shows our second low being more dominant, though. This is where this is where there's still difficult in the track of this, where I don't see it. I mean, look, now the GFS has that low stalling off, and looks like even now into Tuesday. I think we're not going to just have a dominant low that sits there. I don't believe that. But look at that. Another run came in, and now you got a stalling low off the coast here. And now it's a little bit more... I'm a little confused here. Because when you take a look at this, compared to your NAM, it's two different solutions. I mean, look at the differences. It's a massive difference. I mean, you got a dominant low now on the GFS that cooks back here and starts to deepen into the northeast. Like, I don't think that's going to be the case. I think there's going to be one more. This is going to be more. I think the major models are having a little disagreement that I don't agree with. I don't see it. I'm going to be honest with you. I just don't see that solution. Maybe I'm wrong. And I could be. Because this is another model here. And look at that. It's one dot. It actually... I don't think it's going to sit there. Look at the Euro. Euro's crazy. I think the Euro's off on something. Euro just separates it like crazy. I don't see that. And past storms that are like this, I don't see it doing it like that. I don't know why it splits it up like that, but look at that. Now you get all day Tuesday. It looks like, according to this, you got all day Tuesday rain in the northeast and winds on Tuesday too. I agree with you, Lord Ethan. I agree with you because the global models are flipping it back and forth. And a lot of these mesoscale localized weather people are using. They're not even using the global models. I think the global models are just having a little bit of trouble on it. It's just weird solutions on it. But now, you know, the GFS likes to bring some good rain. Not really, actually. Maybe, I don't know. Like, according to Future Radar, Future Radar doesn't have that doing that. It has it as one dominant low. Let's look at the latest HER model. Look at that. Definitely more dominant as we wake up tomorrow morning. Also, I want to take a look at, what is that? The NOAA's wind, I don't like using this. Come on. I don't know. Let's use windy. Who wants me to go live tomorrow? Who would like me to do a morning live stream? I was thinking about that. Morning live stream. You're gonna have to give me a bit to sleep. I need to get back sleep. I'm pretty sure the NAM just updated. Yeah, look at that. Look at that very strong low. Much. If the NAM is right, I mean, I don't know how true the NAM is. But I mean, if the NAM is right, usually I can... Let me quickly look at the NAM. I mean, tomorrow. Let me quickly look. I want to look at the Wendy's.com. I want to see if the NAM updated for 0Z tonight. Hour and 11 minutes ago, so yes. This is according to the latest NAM of wind gust. 60 mile an hour winds by Saturday night. Here along the... I mean, look at this. This is a little bit crazy, but it likes to bring, you know, the Outer Banks 50 to 60 mile an hour winds. It brings North Carolina, Myrtle Beach, even Charlotte up to 40 to 45 if the NAM is right. And it crushes through. I mean, on this case scenario, I mean, look at that. Even with this low being all the way down here, you're still getting along the coast about 40 to almost about like 40 miles an hour. Inland still like 30, 20 mile an hour wind gusts, according to the NAM. And even with the NAM doing this, inland you're still getting 30 to 35, even some spots 40. Parts of here, Virginia, Kitty Hawk, talk 40 miles an hour. And look at that, even with the low doing this, a constant 50 in Delaware, Virginia Beach, parts along the coastal areas here, and you still got very strong winds, 30 to 40. And then the Euro, look at the Euro. I don't believe the Euro. Euro does this long fetch like this. I don't see that. That's bullcrap. Because then you got GFS. See? You got the 18Z GFS bringing easily. You're talking about easily into the Virginia beaches and stuff. Still with 18Z. 50 mile an hour winds into Delaware and New Jersey. You're still talking about 30 to 40 along the inland areas. And I mean, this crashes inland. You're talking about 50 miles an hour all through Maryland, Delaware, even into Atlantic City, where you're talking about 50 plus mile an hour winds. And off the coast, 60 mile an hour winds. So it's one of those things where I would like to see how tomorrow morning goes. And I probably try and live stream tomorrow morning on this system. Okay? So if you guys are very interested on this, feel free. But look at that. According to GFS, you got a solid 50. Almost close to, you got solid 40s into the Philadelphia and southern PA. You know, when you're up here 30 to 35, still. Even with those rain bands. And then this is a little bit later. I mean, you still got very strong 50 mile an hour winds no matter what. And then Icon is a little bit better, but still off. The models are a little off. And then the hurt, like we said earlier, I mean, this is a general hurt here. You're talking about a general inland 30 to 35, along the coast 45 to 55 mile an hour winds. I think the Metal Seals won it on this one. That's how I see it. It just doesn't look right on the GFS. But it does look like the low is a bit stronger, so that's very important. See, this is the latest Canadian, and look at that. It's a little... See, this is what I'm meaning. I think the mesoscales are right, because what I'm seeing in the 0Zs, too, is... Look at that. This was 12Z. Look how we already had a low pressure on the Canadian developing up here, while this one's getting dragged apart. But look at the latest 0Z. Right? Boom. Much more consolidated and more robust. 998 to 996. And you don't got that much of a low pressure difference. Yeah, it's still there, but it's not as stretched out as before. It's more a consolidated area of low pressure. So what that tells me is the global models are catching up to the mesoscales. And what it seems like is the mesoscales are more ahead of this than anything. So what does that mean? Alright, so now we have to get a little bit here of So what does that mean? Beta. I like this beta. Oh, we got some. Oh, wow. Some of these metal skills get very strong into the Carolinas. That's pretty impressive. Wait, am I going crazy? Wait. The rap was last. Wait. Oh. So that's interesting. It likes the low to be more down there. And then, interesting. I think what we should do, I'm not going to make a forecast map tonight. I think the global model's alright, but I think I want to see the evolution into tomorrow morning on this. I mean, I know it's going to be in like 7 hours, but I think I'd like to see the evolution on this. And just watch this, because we're getting a developing low. You can easily see that getting better and better organized. This is the low down here. It's getting dragged to the north. And what's going to happen, this mid-level circulation is going to collide with this low level. And I think this is going to be more of a dominant. And I think this is going to get much more further north, in my opinion. That's just my opinion on that. Also, we're missing something. Is low waves. We're still talking about some significant waves. Even with the euro, even with the euro, it's still bringing 10 feet waves with the off-brand euro. Now, yeah, you go to the GFS and, yeah, Lord have mercy, you're still talking about 15 feet along the shoreline. And let's me that about 15 feet along the shoreline. Pretty crazy. Interesting stuff. Yeah, you could definitely tell we're getting our coastal low to develop. That's definitely beginning to develop. I'm very interested on how that's going to go tonight. Looks like we're going to have another main development region storm here. I'm not going to be surprised if the National Hurricane Center tags it. We're going to actually go into a little bit of the Atlantic. We had Karen, now it's post-tropical. I wouldn't be surprised we do add another area of hashtag right in here. because the models are supporting another main development region system. This one will kind of go out to sea with the others. This could be another Jerry type system. This will add to our names. This will be the 12th potential name. 12th potential name of the Atlantic hurricane season. Pretty much likes it as a tropical storm. I don't think it's going to get to hurricane. I think there's going to be another tropical storm that's going to go out to sea. I don't think this coastal low is going to become anything, because that would have been the 4th named storm. But believe it or not, that's before October 15th, if the GFS is right. Alright? And then the year also shows something with that wave. It definitely tries, but it never gets going. Oh. Oh, that's crazy. October 25, and look at that. We got a trick-or-treating storm, according to the Euro. That's interesting. And then, oh, GF is not fully out there yet. Okay. What a crazy, ugh, wow. Yeah, I know. Doesn't look like the Atlantic is done yet. It's still got some more surprises ahead. I think this is going to be an active October, in my opinion. We look at the European, look at, we got another Cape Verde system that's showing up on the ensembles. This one will be very far out to sea. And then we got another one that goes into the Caribbean. And I'm not liking it, because, I mean, look at this. Oh, my, the mess is crazy. What in the world? And look at that, main development region systems. Looks like we can have a couple Kelvin wave. Look at that. Looks like the Atlantic is not done yet. The A-Maya models really like this bullish crap. Right into the Caribbean, where the warmest waters are for October, and we get a potential ace maker. Not gonna lie with you guys, the Atlantic is just not giving it up yet. We are with 2 name storms. It looks like we could see our next name storm in the main development region pretty soon. I mean, it's going to take some time to develop, but you're talking about 48 hours, and you got the wave there. And look at that, Canadian. I don't know, but it looks like the models keep trending it more and more. Yeah, see, the Canadian likes it more of a consolidated system, like the other models are showing. So that's what I'm seeing more. More of a consolidated system in the Northeast. But look at that, another Cape Verde system right there. Looking very likely. So we could be talking about our next names 2025 hurricane season. Looks like next name storm is, we had Fiona, we had Ida. What? Wait. Right here, Imelda, Karen. Next is Lorenzo. So we are most likely going to get to, looks like we could be having our next name storm will be Lorenzo in the, there. We are near L, so we had 1, 2, 3. So next storm is going to be 12. Average is about 14. So we just need 3 more names. And I think we're going to do that. I think we're most likely going to hit average. Above average, we're going to have to see. We're going to have to pull out 4 more big storms somehow. 60-mile-an-hour storm still. Pretty crazy. wow, some really chilly nights ahead. Holy crap. Ooh, it's gonna be cold outside in my area. Oh wow, look at that. It does try and become a hurricane. Look at this Ace Maker trying to become its own hurricane. What in the world? We have an active, very active north. Wow, the northeast is going to be freezing. Man, I'm freezing right now too. I'm not even going to lie with you. So I guess the models are... Yeah, they're liking this Cape Verde. They're loving it. Oh, wow. I think this is actually the tropical wave. This actually tropical wave is pretty conducive here. Look at that. A lot of convection. We definitely could spin out another name potentially storm, Lorenzo. This will be our third name storm by the 15th. That's 3 name storms already. We will just need 1 more. Pretty crazy. I'm getting tired. It's almost 12:30. Pretty crazy. Alright. Any more questions, you guys? Because I think I'm going to be ending this stream in just a moment. I am pretty beat. Yes, I am. But I think I'm going to be ending this stream in just a moment. We are probably going to go actually live tomorrow morning. So if you guys want me to go live tomorrow morning and look at the 6Z early Monday, early morning runs, I will like to do that with you guys. But I will need to get my sleep now. Alright. Crazy. Alright, I'm gonna